What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Flatline Detonation. I'm Dakota. Today we are working on the Z. I've got some product review to do from the fine folks at CX Racing. If you guys remember a few videos back, I was going to use the truck manifolds, but started messing with them, and I went, you know what? I have the money. I'm just going to spend the money, get a set of headers. It's going to sound really good too. That's the big thing that I was worried about, was the sound. Really didn't want it to sound like some honky truck, so these should make it sound good. Let's get to opening them up and seeing if they're good, terrible, okay. I'm going to give it the most honest review ever. Packaging wise, very minimalistic. The box was really beat up when I got it. Shipping was really fast though, even with everything going on in the world. Got it in 4 days, I think. From California to Wisconsin. Ooh! The weight is there. I don't know if you guys have ever felt cheap headers. They're really light because the tubing is small. Hopefully you guys can kind of see that. They do, it looks like they weld the insides of all the runners along with the outside of the runners. The welds look pretty good. They don't look like they were actually done by a machine. They look like they might have been done by a person. The collector in there, probably can't see that, but it's decent. I mean, there's probably better headers out there, just not from this car. Literally, no one makes headers for the S30 chassis with an LS. I mean, I'm wrong on that, but not many people make them, at least for $560 shipped to your door like I got these. This must be the driver's side. This clears the steering column. Again, everything's welded on this side. Everything's welded on this side. Looks like they half-heartedly kind of grind out all the welds to smooth it out a little bit. Could probably go in there and clean it up myself a little bit better, but I'm not too worried about it. I really just want to get these in, get it running, and do some burnouts. Give you some up close and personals. One thing I wish they would include is the other side of this V-band, because the first thing I'm noticing is I have this V-band that I had planned on using for the exhaust system downstream from here, and this matches up but is the wrong side. This V-band lip right here, if you can see that, should slide into there, but it doesn't because it's probably some different form of V-band manufacturer. So hopefully this V-band I have will work to seal. I don't know how well it's going to seal, not having that inner lip right there. We'll find out when I weld it up and get mad because it has an exhaust leak. Not trying to be negative, just trying to be completely honest with this. That's one thing I wish they would have included. There's also no gaskets, but usually these kind of things come with those cheap composite gaskets when I like to run the MLS anyway. So far I'm happy with the purchase. I believe I paid $560 with shipping for these headers. I know you can get like $100 LS headers for like a C10 or something like that, but because of the application, this is actually the cheapest option that's out there. And usually when you buy something cheap, it's not as good, but these seem to be pretty good. The wall thickness of the tubing seems to be good, which is usually the biggest thing with cheap headers. They use really thin wall tubing, and then it ends up cracking and you have all sorts of issues. So hopefully we don't have any issues with cracking. Just the V-band thing is the only thing that I've noticed. The big thing is going to be, do they fit? So let's get to putting them on the car and seeing if they actually fit in the car. I don't think they're going to fit this way. I'm pretty sure I have to crawl underneath the car, maybe. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to have to crawl underneath there. So far, no good. I think I might have to take the actual steering column off to get these in there, because this is just not happening. It's close, but no cigar. Now comes the annoying thing of removing everything I just installed on the car. So I have to pull the starter out, I'm going to pull the steering shaft out, and then I have to lift the engine. Talked to a couple guys on the swap forum, and that's how they got theirs in. So not super user friendly just to slide them in there and bolt them up. So let's get to messing around. I got them in, but I couldn't film it because it was really hard to do by myself. So on the driver's side, what you can do, at least in my situation, I've got the Dirty Dingo engine mounts and a C6 pan. I had to remove the oil filter and then kind of come up like this and through there. Had to remove the spark plugs because they were in the way. But I didn't have to remove the steering shaft at all, so that was cool. And they just kind of slowly wiggled up into place. As far as clearance, it's kind of hard to see, but it's really tight everywhere, but nothing is touching, at least not that I can see. Jumping over to the passenger side, same deal. Definitely gonna have to do like tons of heat protection everywhere. This brake line that runs down here is only a ½ inch away from the header, so I'm gonna plan to relocate that more in towards the fender here because I don't want brakes spoiling on me. The only spot that I might have issues with, it's really hard to see because this is a TR6060, is that spot way down there where the starter housing is, but I think I've got enough clearance as long as the pipes don't rattle. Underneath, they hang lower than I'd like. Like this, the driver's side is good. That one kind of hugs up about the same level as the pan, but the passenger side hangs a little lower. Not sure why. The passenger side also, hopefully I don't disorient you guys here, also points back in really aggressively. And I'm going to run into issues with the transmission lines. The TR6060 has transmission cooler lines. So on the Camaro it came from, these would actually run back up to the radiator. As you can see, very close to where it goes into the transmission here. I plan on cutting that, turning it back this way and looping it into itself, because I'm probably not going to need a trans cooler because of how light this car is. If I plan to run one, I can run them back up to the front because my radiator has the lines to do it. But that's going to be kind of a pain to route exhaust because it immediately has to turn back and then run down that way. It's also going to be a giant pain right here. I have to cut this little ear off of the transmission if I have any chance of hugging right here with the exhaust. But as you can see, headers snake down through here, flip over 180, really close through there, but nothing's touching. Same thing with over here, nothing's touching. So that's good. I had to remove the starter to get this side in. This bolt right here, the longer bolt, at least with this starter, this is from a truck. I had to keep the header loose to get this bolt back in there. That bolt went in, that was able to hold the starter in once I got the header actually past this point. But you have to keep the header loose to get that bolt in there because the bolt hits the header right here. Okay, so the fun, easy part of just bolting a application part onto the vehicle is done. Now I get to cut and weld a lot of pipe. Wish me luck, guys. Here we go. Okay, this is what we have to work with. I actually got two kits. There's a whole entire another kit that's 2.5, I believe, that's sitting down there. But since the headers are 3-inch, I'm just going to stick with 3-inch and do the whole thing in 3-inch pipe. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this because this is a 2.5 to 3 and it necks down quite a bit. And I don't want to lose any power. So I really don't know how I'm going to show you all this, but I'm just going to get to cutting and welding and hope this all fits in there nicely and looks good and sounds great. Wow, that took forever to tack. This sucks already. I hate it. Made myself a new merge point. Just used the 180, cut it really tight, welded it together, cut the end off, welded a piece on the end. I left the expanded end on there just in case I needed to slide a pipe in. It's easier to weld that way. This will probably get cut shorter. Give you guys an update under here. This pipe is coming out mint. I love how this one's coming through. This one's gonna be kind of a pain. And then I had a little incident last night trying to cut this little ear off the transmission because it's useless and I needed some more room. And I totally sliced the crap out of my finger. So progress is going to be really, really slow today now. I'm just going to remove the coolant temp sensor because this thing is in my way and it'll give me more room. Hey, the fluid looks really clean. That's good. There's a lot in there still. I'm just going to get a plug for that hole and that gives me a bunch more room. Cleaned up that little tab, smoothed it out. That won't cause any structural issues. It was just, I don't know, some little factory casting. I'm assuming just for like popping off the back tail housing there. So more room to work with. Hot diggity dang, look at that. I cannot stress how much work this was, especially this section right here. Getting all these bends to form around and have a clearance around everything was a giant pain in the butt. I've got to order some flex joints. I'm going to put one here and one over on this side just so when everything heats up and contracts and that kind of thing, my welds don't crack. I'm either going to take this over to my friend's house. I'm going to TIG weld all of this stuff because it's all just tacked up. Or I'm going to attempt to weld it with my MIG welder, which might be really bad. I'm also going to order a race muffler or a resonator for right here. Probably like a 9-inch one. And then the exhaust will come through. And then snake through here. Probably put another muffler right in here depending on how loud it is. I think I'm going to end it there for now until I get the car started to test noise levels. Because I really want this car to sound good, but not be obnoxiously loud. Starting to get a little more comfortable with this. Haven't dipped the tungsten in a while. I'm so happy with how this turned out. This is my first time TIG welding, so I know these aren't the prettiest welds. They're not perfect, but they're gonna hold up. and it looks way better than if I would have MIG welded it like I did on this collector here. These welds came out really good. A lot easier to weld in a crack rather than like a butt surface. Learning that out. But this came out really good. Now I need to add flex joints. So I got some vibrant ones. They are only 4 inches long.
That's what she said.
And I'm gonna put one there. Put one there. That'll stop any cracking along the way here. Then I also got Dynamax, just straight through muffler, that I will put a V-band right here and attach it here. So if I don't like how this sounds, or if I just want to put a straight through, I have options to remove it easily and make adjustments down the line. So let's cut this out, add these V-bands in, and we'll end it off. Got the flex joint just sitting in there, still got to tack it in. I've got a pry bar in there to keep it spaced down. When I welded it up, it got a little too close right here and was actually rubbing. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build a mount off of these 2 transmission tabs since the bolts are really long, and I'll weld in a bushing right here so it'll slide straight into there, so you can slide the whole pipe up and in and then bolt it with the V-bands. That way the tail section will be supported right here, and then I'll probably need just one more support way down at the end there. There you have it, guys. Flex joints are in. It's still really hot. Just got done MIG welding it. The welds just don't come out the same as doing TIG welding. Oh God! And there it is! From an image in my head to a thing I can touch. Everything's just tacked together. I need to weld it up. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure I can call myself a fabricator now. Knocked out this midsection a little bit. I'm gonna just stop it right here. This is how it's gonna get started. It should be kind of quiet. Not really, but this will tone it down a little bit. This guy goes right in the rear subframe, nice and snug up in there. I'm gonna take it to my friend Matt's and take it up. You guys aren't gonna see any of that, and the next time you actually see this, it's going to be on the car, and it's going to be painted high temp black because this is not stainless. And as you can see, it's already starting to get a little bit of surface rust. So I wanna make sure it doesn't rust. We're gonna paint it, and I gotta finish welding up my O2 bung because that's really important for the Terminator. Otherwise, this guy is done. I think I'm gonna have to buy a TIG welder in the near future. That thing is pretty cool to use. The little Eastwood gets me by, but it's just not the same. Huge shout out to my friend Matt for letting me use his welder and teaching me how to use it. I use him all the time for welding stuff, and I probably owe him way more favors than I can even count. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully the review on the CX headers helps you guys out if you're looking to purchase them. There's only a couple more videos before this thing's gonna be started, so make sure you do all the stuff below. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.